big and bustling city of Lagos, there lived a young lady named Amara. When Amara was 17 years old, she travelled from her hometown to Lagos in search for greener pastures. As the oldest child of a single mom with 4 younger siblings, Amara did all kinds of jobs in Lagos just so she could feed herself and send some money back home to her mother and siblings. Sadly, life was not as easy as she had expected. With no one to take her in, the first few weeks Amara stayed in Lagos, she had to sleep under the bridge with other homeless people and sometimes at the market because she could not afford to pay rent for even the cheapest houses. Many times, Amara had gone around begging people to employ her in their houses and shops so she could have a roof over her head and also have something to eat. But she never got help, at least not in the way she had expected. Instead, the only kind of help she got were from men who wanted her to sleep with them in exchange for food or little money. Before Amara left her hometown, she had sworn that she would never sleep with any man who wasn't her husband. But when she suffered so much in Lagos and had no idea where her next meal would come from, she was forced to bend to the demands of those men. At first, when Amara got help from some of the men who had offered her menial jobs, she thought that would be all, but she was mistaken. Because the men had given her jobs, they continued to sleep with Amara, and whenever she complained, they would threaten to take the job from her. This was the reason Amara could not keep a job for long, because the men kept taking advantage of her. After almost 2 years of sleeping with different men and meeting their crazy demands with nothing to show for it, Amara decided she had had enough. As of the time Amara decided that she would no longer let both single and married men exploit her, she was working as a maid and a bed warmer for a divorced man that had taken her into his house. "Good evening, sir. Please, I want to let you know that I'll be leaving. I'm no longer interested in working here." Immediately the man heard her. He burst into laughter and continued eating the food Amara had served him. "Sir, did you hear me?"
How many times have I told you not to call me sir? Call me daddy.
"I'm sorry, sir, but we no longer have that relationship as I'll no longer be living with you."
Are you serious about leaving?
"Yes, sir. In fact, I have packed my bags. I was only waiting for you to return home."
Why are you leaving? Don't I treat you well? Don't I send money to your poor mother in your village?
"I have decided that I want more for my life. I don't want to continue this way."
So this is what I get in return, right? After everything I have done for you? I took you off the streets, gave you a home, and I put food on the table. All I have asked of you is that you make me happy. But this is what I get after everything.
I'm sorry, sir.
Sorry for yourself. You know, we have always been warned about helping people like you, but I didn't listen. There's no problem. You can leave if you want to, but make sure you return everything I got for you.
Thank you, sir. Even though Amara was a bit heartbroken that she would have to return all the clothes, shoes, bags and gifts she had received from him, she had no choice but to leave them behind. Before Amara made the decision to leave her comfort zone, where all the things she needed were provided for, but at the expense of her body, she knew that life would be tough outside and she had made plans and had saved a lot of money. Luckily for Amara, she was able to find a decent and affordable house to rent. After she moved in, she began searching for a job that would put food on her table. After what seemed like a month of applying for different positions, Amara finally got a job as a waitress at a fancy restaurant. Since the restaurant was not just fancy, but also a high-class restaurant where celebrities dined and wined, there were many rules and regulations that the staff had to follow, and one of those rules was that staff members were not allowed to eat leftover food or take any home. No matter how much food was left at the end of the day, the restaurant owners would prefer to throw it out than let any of the staff eat or take it home. When Amara received the briefing of her job, she promised to follow all the rules and regulations, and that's exactly what she did. As a hard-working girl who had no extra source of income, Amara worked very hard and she would wait as many tables that she could in a day. Sometimes, if the customers she served were happy with her service, they would leave some tips with the manager for her. When Amara saw how much tips she could earn in a week because of treating her customers well, she put in more effort to impress them. She was always seen smiling, was very polite, and no matter what any customer did to annoy her, she would remain calm. Because of her excellent service, not just to the customers but to the restaurant, she earned Employee of the Month many times. Sadly, this caused hate among the other waiters and waitresses. In less than 3 months of working there, Amara noticed that her fellow waiters and waitresses became very mean to her. It even got to the point where they would hold meetings or hang out together without involving her. And as time passed, they became more and more toxic. Almost every day, Amara's colleagues would lie against her or try to frame her over the things she did not do. Aside from the no eating or taking home of leftover foods rule, another rule Amara followed strictly was the rule that her salary would be deducted if she broke anything or ruined a customer's order. This was the reason Amara was always careful whenever she was serving a customer or clearing the tables. But even without breaking anything, her colleagues connived against her and accused her of breaking an expensive wine glass.
I swear, sir, that glass was in good condition when I took it to the kitchen. It was not broken. But your colleagues have all agreed that you broke that glass and that you are responsible for it because it came from a table you were waiting. No, it wasn't broken. I don't know what happened. Please, I'm innocent. I'm sorry, Amara, but you know the rules. Whenever a waiter or waitress breaks something, it has to be deducted from his or her salary. That's our policy. Upon hearing that, Amara knew that there was nothing she could do. Even though she wasn't responsible for the damage, someone had to pay the price for it, and it was her. As the weeks passed, Amara remained diligent with her work, and even though she was not trying to outwork or outshine her colleagues, because of how zealous she was, it seemed that way. To Amara, working at such a high-class restaurant was a privilege, and it was way better than letting a man exploit her body for basic things. So when Amara saw that her regular customers loved her and she could make her own money without tarnishing her self-worth and esteem, she put in her all. Unfortunately, the more she did this, the more it angered her colleagues until they began planning on how to get rid of her. Just a few blocks outside the restaurant, there was a homeless man who would periodically sit there to beg for food or alms. Once in a while, whenever Amara could spare a few bucks, she would give it to the man because seeing him in that position always reminded her of when she was also hungry and homeless. Somehow, Amara's colleagues had noticed that Amara loved to help the homeless man, so they decided to use her kindness against her. One evening, just before the close of work, the other waiters and waitresses called Amara and handed her a small bag of leftover food that had been put in a plate. What's this for? Oh, the boss is in a good mood today. He said we could take home some leftover just for today. So he told the cook to give a plate to each of us. Oh, really? Amara asked excitedly in complete innocence. Since they were already out of the restaurant building, Amara decided that she would thank their boss the next day. What about yours? Am I the only one that is taking mine home? No, we already ate ours in the kitchen. Personally, if I take it home, my siblings won't let me eat it in peace. Another waitress said, if you don't want to take yours home, you can give it to that man you give money. The truth was that the waitress had said that on purpose because she knew Amara had a soft spot for that homeless man. Sadly, immediately Amara heard that, she smiled and walked straight to the spot where the homeless man stayed and handed him the plate of food. Unknown to Amara, by doing that, she had just given her colleagues the evidence to use against her. The following morning, a few minutes after Amara entered the restaurant, her manager called her to his office and told her she was fired. Why? What did I do? Without saying a word, the manager showed Amara some pictures and a video recording of her handing the homeless man some leftover food in the restaurant's branded bag. But I don't understand. I shouldn't have given him my food. I thought he needed it more. That's why I gave it to him. Amara, I don't know why it had to be you. You are one of the best staff we have had so far. But I'm afraid I have to let you go. You know the company frowns against staff taking home leftover food, and you blatantly disobeyed us. But you said we could. I'm sorry, Amara. The only thing I can do for you is to pay you this month's salary in full. Please, sir, there's a misunderstanding. I need this job. There's nothing I can do. This is out of my hands. I really hope you learned from this,
he said as he handed Amara an envelope that contained her salary. When Amara realized that she had really lost her job, she took the envelope, thanked her manager and left. As soon as she stepped out of the manager's office and saw the smiles on her colleagues' faces, she realized that they were behind her downfall, but she chose not to confront them. She could even hear some of them mocking her as she walked out of the restaurant with her bag. Luckily for Amara, just as she was about to exit the building, one of the restaurant's regular customers who loved Amara saw Amara crying, and she asked what had happened. After Amara narrated everything, the woman told Amara to come into the car, and she told Amara that she had just opened her restaurant in one of the elite parts of Lagos, and she would love Amara to be her manager. Immediately Amara heard that, she burst into tears because she could not believe her ears. So will you do it?
Yes!
Just like that, Amara got a position she would never have dreamed of, and her salary was 10 times more than what she received from the former restaurant. Funnily enough, when the new restaurant was fully opened and called for people to apply for different roles, some of the waiters and waitresses who hated Amara went there to apply for jobs, and when they saw that Amara was the restaurant's manager, they could not believe it. In fact, because they were so ashamed to face Amara or work under her, they could no longer apply, even when the pay was way better than what they earned from the other restaurant. As for Amara, she remained committed to her job and continued to work very hard. Because of her diligence, she got more life-changing opportunities, and her life kept changing for the better. The end. Did you enjoy this story? Tell us your favorite parts in the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also, do not forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.